Yes, yes, yes. Namaste, man. What's going on? Gerald Peters. Welcome back to the channel. So I get a lot of text messages, emails, DMs, PMs, all that good stuff on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the good social channels. And I got a good question. The guy said, listen, Gerald, I'm 37 years old. I just read your book, You Don't Have to Die Broke. I get it. I get what you're saying. But how do I even get going? How should I see this? What should I do? Help me get going. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Come with me. Let's go in my office. Let's get on the whiteboard and let's see if I can't help you get this thing going. Now, it's very important when you start on this idea of what I call the money flow, this idea of building wealth, trying to create generational wealth, really just, buying assets that appreciate, that produce cash flow. These terms, you're gonna have to get used to these words, you're gonna have to get used to this math of time times amount times yield, the idea of being an owner of things. To start with this, we gotta start with seeing the entire big picture, and that starts with you and your house. All right. So when you hear the term money flow, you'll hear me say this a lot, and I apply it to a lot of things because it's kind of actually like what we might call a universal principle. It's this idea that money flows in, money flows out, and it tends to flow in patterns. If you've ever heard me teach or talk on the stock market, I talk about the money flow being fractal, meaning it can be broken down in parts. Also, part of that fractal concept is this idea of amount, meaning $10, $100, $1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, a billion, a trillion. And you can do the same activity. So when we start talking about the money flow, we have to step up, and you got to start to see a big picture before we even get into debt pay down, asset purchases, investing in real estate, investing in the stock market, launching businesses. Once you understand this basic universal concept of time times amount times yield and how that plays out in your life, you must understand this first to ever be successful at investing. So when we get onto the big picture and trying to understand how general universal principles of math and the thinking, some people refer to this as the millionaire mindset. Maybe that's a good name for it. I simply just call it the money flow. And it's this idea of time. Now, all of this is going to start at your house, what we call the household. This is why a lot of programs, the Dave Ramsey's, a lot of this kind of stuff start with personal budgets and getting yourself right and or getting out of debt. And we'll talk about that. And the reason is, like a business, like you almost have to become a business, the business of you. You have to become the CEO of you and of your family and your business. And you need to start thinking of your family and your business and your life in these terms of time is an asset. Time. You have time from the day you're born to the day you die. That was the time you were allotted, and it's what you do with that time. So if you put that time on things that are less valuable, if all of your time is on focused of things that go to zero or depreciate, you spend all your time with cars or boats, these kind of things go down, versus a guy spends all his time with, say, stocks or real estate, which tend to appreciate. What time times amount times yield. And when you say, what does yield mean? This is the Millionaire Code, man. It's this idea of these three components. We all have time. You were born. So you have 1/3 of everything you need right now, right at your household. So we got to start with where you are, with what you have, with what you can actually do. Yeah, we're going to set goals. Yeah, we're going to have lists. We're going to have dreams. We're going to, work toward pursuing those things. But it starts right here with what you have in your checking account, in your pocket, in your mind. You have time. So we want to start positioning the assets you do have, time, talent, treasure, money. All of those things need to be positioned so that going forward, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, in 3 years? Like, what do you have working right now in 3 years that might double? You might double. What kind of deals do you have going right now that you planted? Because see, as we move forward, the deal you planted a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, those deals start to get harvested. But all of that's going to start with household. All right, what do I mean by household? Let's take it down a notch. Maybe I'm getting too big. How much money do you make? Everyone makes money. If you sit home and you're on welfare, you make money. If you work at Walmart, you make money. We got to figure out how much money you make. And you're only given 7 days a week in which to make it. This is the problem for the common guy. You only got 7 days, man. So what happens? So you're going to hear me talk about the 8 days. You go down the rabbit hole of the money flow. We're going to go from 7 days a week to 8 days a week. What is the 8th day? Let me give you an example. I just bought a property that I have on Airbnb. This weekend, I didn't do anything. It made $280 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the 8th day, meaning I have an asset that's working for me while I'm here talking to you. That's the 8th day. We need to get you assets. We need to get you items. We need to get you things that you own that go up in value, that give you a little drip, that work for you, creating the 8th day. Now, where does this come from? Where do we get this? Your income. So we have to take an honest assessment. How much money do you make? The best investment in the beginning, people say, should I buy Bitcoin? Should I buy a stock? Should I buy a penny stock? Should I buy this Shiba crypto coin or Doge? Should I get into wholesaling or flipping, or should I create a business? What should I do, Gerald? Honestly, almost always, the first investment is in you. What would equip you to make more money? Is there a skill that you could spend $5,000, $10,000 to go learn, and all of a sudden you double your income, right? That's better than an investment, because now you have some control over that, because you could work 7 days a week and make a shit ton of money. Now you have money. Now you get the money and you begin to put it into deals, stocks, businesses, REITs, investment, business development companies, loaning money on the street, loaning notes, buying properties. You get to do these things that'll go to work for you on the 8th day. But all of that's going to start at your house. How much money do you make? Now here's a big important problem. Debt. You're never going to be a great crypto trader if you got a bunch of debt. You say, why not? You ain't got enough money to put in crypto. You're never going to flip your way out of debt. You're not going to get anywhere in life if you have an anchor through to your own irresponsibility or bad misfortune, bad luck. Maybe you have bad luck. Maybe you got divorced and you got a bunch of debt in the divorce. Maybe your kid got sick and you got I don't know. Bad shit happens to good people. That's one of the basic, that's just reality. And yet you still got to persevere. You're still going to have time. You still have some kind of amount that you can participate to the big picture of the money flow. And some of those things are still going to produce yield. Even if you're sick, your Airbnb could be earning you $280, $300, $500 this weekend. If you don't go to work, this thing could be making you money. So as we go forward, we can't get into these deals. We can't buy an Airbnb. We can't buy a traditional single family house or a trailer park or put money into Bitcoin. We can't do that if all of our income is eaten up by debt. Go. Now listen, I'm saying a lot of things really fast, and you've got to learn. And this is where books come in, courses come in, taking your time with this every day, adding to your knowledge of the Millionaire Code. There are people, I was on Instagram the other day, and I literally watched a video, not Instagram, I was on YouTube the other day, and I literally watched a video that encouraged you not to be a dreamer, not to be a get rich quicker, not to think that there's riches that can be made. That is complete bullshit. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who get rich on a token, or come up with a single idea, or have one hit song in a band, or play 3 years in the NFL, meaning they have a one hit wonder. They have an outlier event. It's what you do with those events. And if you open your mind to the idea, yeah, I want to have those, but I'm not betting on those, meaning I'm going to do the basics. But as I go forward, as I open my mind to this idea of the money flow, of earning unusual, of being open to this idea, as I begin to study business, as I focus on the 3 ways I can get rich, as I work on getting my household under control, my income up, my living standards down, my debt done away with, and I begin to apply it to things like stocks in real estate, guess what? You're going to get lucky. You're going to have a stock that goes up 400%. You're going to catch Bitcoin and it triples or 5Xs. You're going to get in a penny stock that 10Xs. It's what do you do when that happens? So if you're studying all of this with the right mindset of time times amount times yield, and you're thinking along this way of the Millionaire Code, and you're applying all of this shit, then you're playing this game of chess that other people aren't. And what happens is, as you play this game of chess, time, amount, right? So by having no debt and low living standards, we now have amount. And then we develop the skills. You say skills, what do you mean? Like skills of how to get yield or return. On this side, I wrote all this stuff. This is what I've been talking to some real estate friends, and I'm not going to go through it all. But through this simple 5 steps, these are the 4 ways we make money in real estate. And I have plenty of videos on that. And these are the 5 steps to finding real estate. Well, what does that allow me to do? It takes that $100 a day that I get because I live below my standards, I don't have any debt, and I increase my income. And I know in 3 to 5 years I can double this. Well, if I'm on it every day, and then I start learning the yield part of the formula, and I begin to apply it to an asset like real estate, maybe more than stocks. Like maybe we start in stocks, and then we take from the stocks and we buy the real estate, right? But your friend does nothing. As we go forward week after week, month after month of you on this money flow game, when you get to year 10, you have millions of dollars and your friend has nothing. And it's just because of how they applied their time. We all get time. You have the single greatest component you need to become a millionaire. You already have it. They gave it to you at birth. Time. Utilize it. It's what you do with it, man. It's what you do with it. Wow. Man, I was talking fast. I got out of breath. I'm too old for this. So seriously though, I get excited when I talk about you, and I do a lot of coaching calls or whatever you want to call it, where I talk with people on the phone, and it's the same thing, man. I know what you have. I know what's possible. I know what's out there. And I know if you'll just take that first step, that 0 to 1, just get it going. You don't need help to get it going. You got to get it going. If you don't have my free ebook, you don't have to die broke. I mean, come on, it's free. I'm not even going to follow up with you. Actually, that's not true. I send an email and ask you, did you read it? 3 days later, and I bet you didn't. Most people can't even read a free ebook. That's why you can win, because you're competing against people that can't read a free ebook. Come on, man, get the book. God bless you.